Wow. Well, you sure are not the not me people up there.
No, we are not.
This is
Not
insane.
You. Yes.
This is insane. What did you do with not me?
I don't know.
We opened up a can of whoop ass on him.
He stopped existing. Brett, how bad is this going to suck?
It's a true TV classic. So I don't know. It might be good.
It's a true TV original.
I don't know.
Legally. I mean, it started on the internet, but then it got moved to True TV. So technically it is an original.
So was Fuse an internet thing then?
I thought it was Funny or Die.
Well, and then
that's what the logo says. One time I watched it was on Netflix. So
then it went to Fuse. So now it actually my first joke has been blown. Well, tell us what you think about my first joke in the comments below.
Everyone say it at the same time. Let us know.
No,
in the comments below.
Comments below.
Hell yeah.
I even beat you to it.
I'm Micah.
And we're not
Micah.
This is somehow worse.
Hey guys, it's Billy Eichner, and this is Funny or Die's Billy on the Street, a music and pop culture game show. Now, before we get to this week's 3-round game, let's hit the streets and play a game I like to call For a Dollar. Here we go.
So, that's funny, because the reason you sold me on doing this was that you said it was a True TV original, but yet it's a Fuse original. You were wrong. Funny, it did start on Funny or Die.
It did.
But then the first TV network was Fuse.
I believe it's pronounced Fuse, like the drink.
Is it? Since this is not funny, does that mean we die?
No, this is hilarious. It's Funny or Die because it's either you're like laughing regularly or you're dying from laughing. There's no other option.
I thought it was more like Skate or Die, like more of a threat,
I thought it was Billy on the Street.
What do you think it is? Let us know in the comments
below.
Oh.
Well, so I kind of hijacked that. So why do you think it's funny? Either of you?
I think it's funny because non-consenting adults participating in street games for minimal amounts of U.S. currency can't be considered humorous because that's not a normal day activity now, is it? Not me to the left.
A lot of it seems to boil down to like guy goes up to person and says, "Hey, are you aware of this celebrity who's in the movie?" And it's kind of references like that. It reminded me. I watched a South Park episode recently called Funny Bot. Are you familiar with that one?
I am. I'm familiar with the arc, not like the episode. Is this
the awkward? Yeah, and like he makes a lot of jokes that Funny Bot would make, but not like Funny Bot does it like as like sort of like a Mad Libs kind of thing. Like I wouldn't suck Oprah's dick with Stevie Wonder's vagina, and you're gonna put me on there for saying that, aren't you?
Wow.
But
Miss, are you jealous of Beyonce's success?
No.
I don't believe you.
I wouldn't believe me either.
Okay.
Are you having a good day?
I am. Are you?
I am having a good day.
What are you doing?
I just went to the movies.
What did you see?
I saw The Story of Marie, a blind deaf girl.
Oh, God, no.
That was actually pretty funny.
See, that's funny because she contradicted herself within seconds of being like reprimanded.
Yeah. And I guess he's kind of leaning into being kind of a jerk character that I thought was, that I guess I didn't pick up on the first time because, he was just like, like kind of walked away in distaste after the blind deaf girl thing, which I guess like that's kind of who he plays. He's a very grating person, I think. Very grating persona. I didn't like him in Parks and Rec. And I kind of just don't really like Parks and Rec in general. Story for another day. So.
I've never seen a single
I didn't even
scene.
know he was in it.
Yeah, I've never seen a single scene from Parks and Rec.
Yeah. He's a latter season edition where he plays a guy who's really loud and he's mad all the time, like.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I thought that was funny because he didn't like the movie she was seeing.
And he was pretty rude about it.
He was really rude about it.
He walked away and
he gave her a.
He basically did a passive version of a Helen Keller joke, which was not very nice.
I believe it was also funny because there was the guy in the background who wasn't aware of the street sign, and as you can see, perfectly edited me. He was like walking. He was like not really realizing because one of the signs said go, but one of the other signs did not, and he didn't know which one to follow, so he just went back to the street corner.
Wow, I missed that, but that is funny.
It's funny because he's wrong.
I also don't really like his outfit very much.
Billy Eichner's?
Yeah, oh yeah, like the blue and the green. I mean, I kind of like it, but like also,
it's festive isn't the wrong word. Her scarf is very festive.
Yeah.
But then he asked like a direct question, and then she immediately started to have like a real conversation with him. She's like, "How was your day?"
How's your day?
As if they knew each other for years, as if this isn't just a random encounter with a camera.
That he's asking her if she's jealous of Beyonce's success for $1.
Yeah, and it's overall funny because that's such a subjective question to ask, and there's no right or wrong answer. Although he does know the right answer, and there is a wrong answer, and she never got the $1.
And I also found it really exciting that they both were familiar with the same famous person.
Yes, that is very funny.
Although Beyonce is a very famous person. I would say she's one of the more famous people who exist.
And she is, I guess, conventionally or maybe unconventionally attractive to some. Maybe not people later in this video. We'll see.
For $1, who's your favorite actor or actress?
Oh, I like Brad Pitt.
I think he's fine. Seems like a good guy. I've never been that thrilled by his acting, but seems like a well-intentioned person.
Great ass. It was great in Troy.
You're disgusting.
So that was funny because Brad Pitt is a really good actor with a really great ass.
Yeah, I thought he was great in Troy. So I think the three things: great actor, great ass, and great in Troy, actually combined together to make it not funny.
I'd call that a triple threat match.
Yeah. That just circles it all the way back around. That's the circle of humor. Did you learn that in class in college, Michael?
I did not. Instead, I decided to learn what the circle of fifths was. But that's also funny because Billy Eichner is famously an open gay man who found the hearing of another conventionally attractive man's posterior to be like gross.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think that's what they call irony, which is occasionally funny, but is occasionally used to make a point. And occasionally that's done at the same time. And
again, it was a subjective question that he did not give her the $1 for, even though he agreed with her.
Well, I know he didn't give her the $1 because she spent all her dollars at Dillard's just 15 minutes before that was shot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Maybe she spent the $1 to talk about Brad Pitt's ass. Maybe she would have got the $1 if she was just like, yeah.
What are the best Brad Pitt ass movies? Moneyball, #1.
World War Z, #2.
Yeah, World War Z, #2. What else?
I've not seen that.
Yeah. Well, it's the World War movie whenever they ran out of numbers and letters and went all the way to Z.
Is he in the Ocean's movies?
Yeah, yes, he is. Yeah. I mean, that's a great ass movie.
Yeah.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith?
Oh, yeah.
I would say that's one of the best Brad Pitt ass movies.
Yeah.
I'd go with all of them.
Oh, Inglourious Bastards. It's a really good Brad Pitt ass movie.
You mean Inglourious Astards?
Gentlemen, any thoughts on Kira Sedgwick?
Pardon? What about
Kira Sedgwick?
I love her. I
do?
met her at John. Kira Sedgwick.
Oh my God, this is so gay. I can't take this. I cannot take this.
Openly gay man makes joke that would be normally homophobic.
But because he's an openly
Yeah.
gay man,
Man,
it's
yeah.
okay because he shares in the same trials and tribulations.
But does it make it more conventionally okay that he made the joke to like what appeared to be two gay men?
Well, we don't know that
Yeah.
John is gay. We just we just assume that these are that this is a gay couple. This might not even be a couple. This could be just two gay friends, or one gay friend and one not gay friend. Or maybe we're just generalizing gay. Maybe these are just two regular guys
Two men.
Two straight dudes.
Sedgwick is because they like movies. These are old. I mean, like this is an older man. Maybe he just knows who she is because she's been in a movie before.
She was also.
Go ahead.
Yeah, she was also in The Closer, which is some major Tart material, like the Turner drama.
Oh, wow. I think it was funny because he couldn't even finish his sentence and he asked John for his opinion. And I thought it was funny the way he said John.
It's funny because the stereotype is that all gay men know who Kira Sedgwick is. Do you know who Kira Sedgwick is? Let us know.
No, I don't.
In the comments below.
I don't know who Kira Sedgwick is.
I know the name, but I don't think I could pick her out of a lineup.
She's in The Closer. I know that. And is she not in The Sopranos? Maybe.
Miss, have you gotten your Madonna tickets yet?
Hell no.
Why?
Because I can't afford them.
Why not?
Because I live in New York and I'm going to be 64 and I have no health insurance.
I don't ask for your whole life story.
Tough shit.
Oh, fuck you.
I think that was funny because the cost of living in New York is astronomically high. So it makes sense that she couldn't afford the tickets.
I think it was gut-bustingly hysterical because he heard all of her actual real world problems about like not having health insurance and her rent being high, cost of living being high, and just, ignored them as if they were nothing.
And cursed at her.
Yeah.
It's funny because openly gay men assume that everybody's going to the Madonna concert that's happening.
It's funny because even though he's an openly gay man, he doesn't really act like it very much.
Also, it's presumed that Billy Eichner is rich because he has a television show. So, of course, Billy Eichner can afford going to Madonna concerts. But 64-year-old woman here certainly cannot afford to go to this show at all.
And although that it presumes the 64-year-old woman wants to go. Like, I feel like she would like James Taylor maybe a little bit more. Like, just saying.
Maybe Steely Dan.
Yeah.
Do you want to be Tina Fey's new friend?
No.
Oh, sorry.
Well, you bet.
See, now that was really funny because it was Tina Fey with him, and he is her new friend.
And that lady did not want to be friends with Tina Fey, mostly because a strange man was shoving a microphone into her face. And so Tina Fey, being offended, said, "Oh, fuck you then."
Yeah. And like, how dare anyone not want to be friends with Tina Fey?
She seems like a lovely person.
Yeah, like how few unlikable qualities she has.
How dare you?
Yeah, like as many times as people say you should watch 30 Rock, which I've never cracked under that pressure, ever.
It's good, actually.
Yeah, I've never really sat down. It was like the one of The Office and Parks and Rec. I wish I could have traded that for Parks and Rec. Fuck Parks and Rec. There you go.
Well,
Parks and Rec had some good stuff in it.
30 Rock episode that we did, check it out right over here, man. Other way.
What? Oh, on the other way? Not the X button.
Who knows?
I don't know what direction anyone's going.
Just press the minimize button, people. We're okay with you listening to this in your car.
But do you know what if
the Muffin Man? The Muffin Man.
Fuck it. Let's move on.
I grew up next to Drury Lane, so fucking I know the Muffin Man. Let's go.
Sir, for $1, name a movie. Go.
Radio Shack.
Yes. What? Radio Shack?
Yes.
That's a store. Excuse me. Goodbye.
See, I think that was funny because Billy preemptively celebrated, even though he named a store and not a movie like he asked.
A bankrupt store now. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was bankrupt at that time. Maybe it wasn't. But bankrupt. But bankrupt be damned. Radio Shack does not exist anymore.
I thought it was really funny that Billy set the audience up to make him think that he was saying the movie Radio with Cuba Gooding Jr.
I also think it was funny how confident the man said Radio Shack.
And then Billy pushed him out of the way because he was so disgusted with just a simple question of name a movie. There's got to be a Radio Shack tutorial, like from 1974. There's got to be like training videos for Radio Shack, like how to fix a radio or how to fix a landline
or how to build a shack.
I was going to say, do you think it started with someone listening to a radio in a shack, or do you think it was started by Shaquille O'Neal?
I think it was made because Mr. Rodeo made a shack out of radios.
Okay.
I think people were just really into remote control cars and they needed one singular place to go sell them at. I think that's it.
I think that that Radio Shack, whoever invented Radio Shack, bought all the AA batteries in the world, and so this was the only place that you could buy them.
Sir, for $1, who would you rather have sex with, Charlize Theron or Anne Hathaway?
Neither one. I'm gay.
Oh, God.
Sorry.
That's too bad.
See, that's funny because he would have rather had sex with a man than either of those two women or any women.
It's funny because the expectation was that this big guy would have easily had an answer, because stereotypically huge muscle men are heterosexual, but this man turned out to be homosexual, and Billy Eichner, also being homosexual, was disappointed that this man was also homosexual, which, as said previous, would normally be deemed homophobic, but because Billy Eichner is also openly homosexual, it's just funny.
It's funny that Billy Eichner, gets reactions out of other homosexual men, that are kind of in the negative, that are kind of abrasive. And you would think that they would, have like some sort of like, oh yeah, I have this thing in common, but they wind up not liking each other based upon the randomness and abrasiveness and just the, general dickishness of the host.
I think it was funny that the man felt bad that he couldn't provide an answer.
What was that?
Could I say something?
Yeah, sure.
Who are you?
I'm Billy. Who are you?
Keith. What is about?
For $1, who's weirder, Tom Cruise or John Travolta?
Tom Cruise.
Correct. There you go. Are you smoking a blunt?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
See, it's funny because normally Billy goes up to people, but Keith here came up to Billy.
I think it was funny that he was smoking a blunt on the street, and that is not legal, and he was doing it on camera, and he did not care.
And it's extremely funny that Billy exploited him for that.
It's funny because Keith only needed 1 second to determine that Tom Cruise is more weird than John Travolta, which in my opinion is the correct opinion.
Tom Cruise is personality-wise more weird than John Travolta, but John Travolta looks weirder than Tom Cruise.
But John Travolta has not always looked weirder than Tom Cruise.
And whenever John Travolta played Nevin Shapiro in that OJ thing, he looked like a freaking goblin.
Well, ever since he acquired Nicolas Cage's face, I would say that he looks the most weird.
Sir, for $1, any thoughts on Anne Hathaway? Okay, bye. Goodbye.
And that was really, 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 really funny that the old man didn't want to be on the show and he made fun of him for it. Like, that was just, that really struck a humorous chord with me that, he exploited his response in the negative.
I thought it was really funny that the man's hair matched his backpack.
Hey, that is cute. It's funny that he was old and he had that hairstyle, which is quite uncommon, according to a poll of Gen Xers and baby boomers I took.
I think it's funny that the guy just didn't even say a word.
For $1, who's your favorite actor or actress right now?
George Clooney.
Oh, he's great, yeah. Did you see Tomorrowland? Did you see that movie?
No.
No, no one did. He has that wife now.
Yes, he doesn't. She's beautiful.
Yeah, I guess. What?
Who are you?
I'm Billy Eichner.
And, okay, all right. So, and is this like TV or?
Yeah, this is like television, yeah.
What television?
Like Billy on the Street.
Oh, okay. So are you an internet thing?
No, it's actually a TV thing and an internet thing.
I don't like your attitude.
Okay, I don't like yours. I'm on TV.
Who gives a shit?
Who gives a shit about you, bitch?
Well, that's kind of mean. I have a good story to tell about George Clooney, though, but let's talk about why it's funny.
See, that's funny because she was confused on why there was a microphone and camera in her face, so she asked, and she just didn't see the big deal when he told her.
I think it was funny that the show, as we talked about, did start as an internet show that made it to television.
Mm-hmm.
And he got really offended that she called it an internet show, even though it once was an original internet show.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was funny that like that conversation started off as the most mundane, normal conversation out of all of them, where things kind of just went back and forth in the most normal way. And then like it all broke down whenever they talked about the medium or the version of show that occurred or that it was.
It's funny because as we've seen time and time in this clip, he's usually the first one to storm off, but she was the one who stormed off first, which made him angry at her storming off.
Which made him look like a bit of an ass, which I think was funny.
I think it's funny that it's so noteworthy that George Clooney has a wife because he's such a good looking guy that was single for so long. And it's even funnier that his wife has been 3D'd through a table and had like shit dumped on her and all sorts of crazy shit because she was a wrestler.
She was. And let me tell you what's exceptionally funny about George Clooney. You know this too, Brett. Back in the early 2000s, remember when Geoff Davis or Jeff Davis was congressman for our district from Trimble County. So at one point, George Clooney's father ran against him, Nick Clooney. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I met Nick Clooney. So I met George Clooney's father.
Yeah, he lived in Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky for a while.
Yeah, Maysville is where he's from.
Yeah.
Maysville. Yeah, Mason County.
George Clooney went to school at Blessed Sacrament where a bunch of my friends went for like a couple years. Yeah.
No shit. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Billy on the street.
Billy on the street.
It sure was Billy, the street, and much more. You know what's much more? Subscribing and liking and commenting and sharing and tweeting and TikToking and all these things. But other not me's, or maybe down here, or maybe here, or maybe here. Who knows?
I would like to be up in the tiles of your ceiling personally with the fiberglass.
Cool.
That's okay.
There's a little asbestos, so you might die. But that's funny because it's funny or die. So it's all full circle. So not me. Tell us about your show because clearly this isn't it.
Oh, hi. Not us. We are the Brainbuster Boys.
We are
of the Brainbuster Boys podcast.
Yes, and we talk about wrestling a lot. And we have a bunch of made up characters on there, and they're really funny.
Some of them are real.
Some of them are real, but also made up.
Yeah.
But we have a good time. We're really funny, and we do stuff, and we're really great to listen to in your car
or truck radio.
Awesome.
You can find us on Twitter at Brainbuster Boys.
Yeah, check us out.
And at some point on Instagram at Brainbuster Boys, but I've been too lazy and poopy.
It'll be there.
But yeah, come get your brain busted with us boys.
And then go to the hospital afterwards.
And while you're at the hospital, watch us next week while we watch